Now we get underway with our penultimate junior Rotax heat. It's heat number 5, Groups A versus D, race 21 out of 25 today. Let's have a look at the starting grid. So on the front row will be Christopher El Fagali from Lebanon and Kasper Schormans from the Netherlands on the outside of the front row. Mateo Denkovic from Belgium and Dave Stevens from the Netherlands will be on row number 2. Then it's Jordan's Hamza Al Fayez and Max Cuthbert from the United Kingdom on row number 3. Krik Knoren on the inside of row number 4. Representing the Netherlands will have the UK's Thomas Ingram Hill alongside. Archie Clark and Kenzo Craigie making an all-British row 5 and complete the top 10. Tino Sidler and Noah Janssen from Switzerland and Germany, that's row 6. Adas Majalskis and Matthias Jalo, that's the UK and Denmark, row 7. Then it's Juri Levar and Mikko Manila from Slovenia and Finland, row number 8, with Olivier Jonkers from Belgium, Cameron Nelson from the UK, Casper Nissen from Denmark, and Sky Parker from the United Kingdom, by way of Wales, rounds out the top 20. Julian Kovacevic, Sebastian Koch, Rasmus Koskinen, Zen El Homosani, and Mathis Lemaitre round out the 25-strong grid. So far in the junior Rotax ranks, there has only been one double winner. Could he get 3? That driver is Kasper Schormans, who has won Heat 2 and Heat 4. The other 2 drivers that have won heats, one of which is alongside him, one of which is on the row behind him. So, the top 3 drivers are the 3 winners so far. Christopher El Fagali and Mateo Denkovic along with Kasper Schormans. So the drivers make their way out of the final corner. Revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights are out. We are underway for junior Rotax heat number 5. And El Fagali leads the field into turns 1 and 2. Let's take Stevens. We've had someone spinning at the back end of the field who's just gone rally crossing. Doing a bit of a Valtteri de Bottas like he did with Mercedes at the Red Bull ring. Cutting the grass with his front bumper. And that might be, I think that might be Olivier Jonkers that has just got off the circuit. As the drivers make their way through into turn number 8. A little bit of an advantage starting to build for Christopher El Fagali from Lebanon, as he makes his way out of turn number 9. Radenkovic in second. Third, it is Schormans. Fourth, it is Stevens. Fifth place, it is the 262 of Krik Knoren. Hamza Al Fayez is behind them. Well, he's just had that possibly could be. That's one of the KR Sport carts up the inside of him, I just think. And that will be Archie Clark. So Archie Clark, the 247 from the UK, gets past Jordan's Hamza Al Fayez. Last time I saw Hamza was actually at the MENA Karting Championship Nations Cup in 2021 in the Sultanate of Oman. As I've just seen 271, Julie Levar was a little bit slow coming out of turn number 6. Not too sure if there might have been a slight touch. Oh, and there's a slowing. 241. That is Cameron Nelson from Dan Holland Racing. Is looking a little bit slower. And I think, right, turn 8. I think that kart is going very, very slow indeed. El Fagali leads. It's very close between the top 4 as we head on to lap number 2 of this race. There is someone going very, very slow down into turn number 9, or turn 10. Radenkovic launches it up the inside of El Fagali. Will Schormans get through too? No, he does not. And nearly opens the door for Dave Stevens and Krik Knoren to get through. And that is going to be game over for Cameron Nelson, I'm afraid. Oh, Max Cuthbert, that's a big casualty. He was at the sharper end of the grid all the way through the early part of today's running. Now, as we come to the tail end of it, Max Cuthbert has a race to forget. They're going to be down to 23 drivers. But the top 5 at the moment representing Belgium, Lebanon, and then 3 drivers from the Netherlands in rapid succession. So Radenkovic leads, looking to get 2 wins out of 3. El Fagali having to defend as, oh, that was a bit of a bumper run. Oh, dearie me, exhaust has gone. Exhaust has gone for Casper Schormans. And that is his race done, I'm afraid. And that means it was Tay Stevens getting a bit rambunctious going through into the final corner as Schormans was trying to muscle his way past El Fagali. And Tay Stevens had nowhere to go, went over the back end of him. And that is Casper Schormans' exhaust going noisy, I'm afraid. So, just goes to show you might be a 2-time race winner, but anything can happen in the heat stages, and that is a score that is going to affect Casper Schormans' ranking after the heats. So he's going to have to pull that in. And I think there was a little bit of a sign said to Tay Stevens saying, what on earth are you doing? But now it's a bit of a fight behind. Tay Stevens looking to come back. Up the inside he goes on Archie Clark. Hamza Al-Fayez from Brand Racing looking up the inside of Archie Clark through the final corner as well. Has to hold on for 6th place at the minute, but he's being closed in on by Tino Sidler. Thomas Ingram Hill, Aras Mijauskis, as a very slow Casper Schormans becomes the 3rd retiree as El Fagali looks up the inside of Krik Noren through into turn number 6. He gets the advantage at the moment. There's a clash of wheels once, twice down the back straight away. Archie Clark now has been passed by Tino Sidler. And that is for 6th position as Hamza Al-Fayez now finds himself in 5th place. A good, solid, consistent run for the Jordanian driver. A wonderful chat with him and his mum earlier on this week when he was on his push bike. Oh, Archie Clark, just keep a little bit of a wide berth of the runoff area, please. And now, Tay Stevens is again trying to close on Christopher El Fagali. That's for 3rd place on the road as Radenkovic looks to become a 2-time winner. Oh, someone's on the grass and there's been a little bit of an incident. But they both, whoever that was heart in the mouth stuff. Not too sure. That might have been possibly Thomas Ingram Hill having a little bit of a moment. Possibly involving one of the drivers from Argenti Motorsport. So through into turn 8 go the leaders, and into turn 9 goes our race leader at the moment, Matej Radenkovic. As now there's been a change. Christopher El Fagali back down now to 4th as Tay Stevens. Oh, now here comes Hamza Al-Fayez up the inside of Fagali. And there is the 2:10 of Tino Sidler. And El Fagali has to try and get the undercut on Tino Sidler, but there is Archie Clark up the inside. Through out of turn number 12, and El Fagali defends and keeps the position for the minute. He's now down into 6th place. Less than 60 seconds to go in this penultimate junior Rotax heat. El Fagali looking up the inside of Tino Sidler. Archie Clark sees the door open as well. It was the big barn doors at the farm being wide open, and then he slingshots past El Fagali through into turn number 7. 35 seconds remain on the clock. Leader now coming through down towards turn number 10. So 3 retirees. Schormans on lap 3, Nelson on lap 1, and Max Cuthbert out on the opening tour. Krik Noren battling away with the likes of Hamza Al-Fayez and also Tay Stevens. That's the battle for 2nd on the road behind Matej Radenkovic, who now has a lead of 1.447 seconds. So this will be the penultimate lap, lap 8 of 9 out underway. Al-Fayez looking to move up, possibly into a top 3. He's going to look up the inside of Tay Stevens through turn 6. Neatly timed by the 2.99 from Jordan. So Rasmus Koskinen, the last of the drivers still running around this circuit. And a 5-second time penalty for pushing going to Mathis Aumetre from France, who's currently sitting in 20th position. That'll demote him to the back end of the field. Timer has expired. One more lap remains, and Mateo Denkovic is looking to join Kasper Schormans as a two-time race winner. Hamza Al-Fayez is defending from Dave Stevens in the battle for P3. On to the final lap we go. The lead is now 1.4 seconds between first and second, and there is Dave Stevens up the inside of Al-Fayez for third place through turn number 2. A bit further behind, Archie Clark has been passed by Christopher El Fagali for 5th place. They've got Switzerland's Tino Sidler just behind, with Kenzo Craigie, Matthias Jallerup and Thomas Ingram Hill rounding out the top 10. He's now making his way through the 9th corner of this 12-turn clockwise circuit. As Al-Fayez has a little bit of a touch with Stevens, who ends up on the runoff area. Al-Fayez still trying to get through, but it is going to be Mateo Denkovic out of the final corner. He joins Kasper Schormans as a two-time heat winner as Tay Stevens. As, oh dearie me, coming across the line. That was very, very close for, I think that was for Christopher El Fagali. Tay Stevens ends up 5th, but Radenkovic wins by 1.392 seconds. Hamza Al-Fayez, Christopher El Fagali and Tay Stevens ran at the top 5. Archie Clark, Tino Sidler, Kenzo Craigie, Matthias Jallerup, Noah Janssen complete the top 5. Great run by Zainal Homosani from the back end of the grid to finish in 11th, ahead of Kasper Nissen, Sebastian Koch, Olivier Jonkers and Mikko Manila rounding out the top 15. Julian Kovacevic, Jure Levar, Thomas Ingram Hill, Matis Ometra, Sky Parker, Rasmus Koskinen and Adas Mjalskis round out the running order of 22 drivers, with Kasper Schormans retiring with a broken exhaust after contact with Tay Stevens on lap 3, Cameron Nelson out on lap 1 and Max Cuthbert out on the opening lap. So with 2/3 of the junior Rotax heats already completed, heat number 5 would possibly see a person that could do the clean sweep. But we would have to wait to see if that would transpire, as everyone was waiting. It was the calm before the storm. Any number of drivers were in clear contention at the sharper end of the field. As the drivers headed into the tram lines and the lights went out for junior Rotax heat number 5. Also, the fact that Mateo Denkovic would have an opportunity earlier on in the race, but it was Christopher El Fagali from Lebanon that led the field into turns 1 and 2. There was a moment a little bit further behind as the 2-1-6 of Olivier Jonkers from Dams Racing would find himself grass cutting very early. Then Mateo Denkovic would put a move on the inside of Christopher El Fagali, who then had to quickly counter-attack the advances of one Kasper Schormans, with Tay Stevens in close proximity. Krit Knorren was also in the mix in the 262 entry. Heading down into turn number 12, it was a case of Schormans was trying to get past El Fagali, and then over his back bumper went the 292 of Tay Stevens, thereby breaking the 240's exhaust on the spot. And with the baffles broken, the exhaust nearly hanging off, he would end up retiring on lap number 3, ending the opportunity for Kasper Schormans to have a 3-race win victory and put him at the top of the intermediate rankings after the heats. Archie Clark would also feature quite prominently in this race, as Tay Stevens mounted a comeback, as Hamza Al-Fayez from Jordan would also showcase his skills in the last race of heats day for him. Christopher El Fagali would then also embroil himself into a battle with Krit Knorren over second position, which would wage on for quite a few laps, with the pair making a couple of bits of sidewall contact going down the back straightaway. Then with Tay Stevens getting in front of El Fagali, Hamza Al-Fayez would then throw his weight through into the inside of El Fagali through turn number 10. Tino Sidler would also make his presence felt in this race, making his move up the inside of El Fagali, going through turn number 12, with Archie Clark chancing fate and the curbing through turn 12, but still held on at that point. Elfagali would then make sure he got past Tino Sidler, and Archie Clark saw his window of opportunity get even bigger as the Lebanese driver made his way through on the Swiss. Hamza Al-Fayez would also make further in-gains as he would move up the inside of Taze Stevens and take a position as he was looking for his first top 3 finish of the weekend. Stevens would then counter-attack a little bit later on through turn number 2, even though Hamza Al-Fayez tried to stand his ground. Hamza Al-Fayez would then go on a bit of an attack and then have a little bit of a touch with the right rear of Taze Stevens, allowing him the opportunity to possibly get one up on the Dutch driver, and it would end up being the case that Hamza Al-Fayez again would go through on the inside at turn number 12, giving Taze Stevens no room to react, and the pair bump sidewalls once again. Stevens would then later run wide just a few moments later, as Christopher Elfagali would then make his way up to 4th position. But Matej Nedeljkovic joins Kasper Schormans as a 2-time race winner today on Heats Day.